Don't you ever give up?
Sin has chosen me. I am part of sin. I am one with sin forever. Immortal.
Sin just absorbed you.
I will learn to control it from within. I have all the time in the world.
Since you were gracious enough to dispose of Unaleska, the only means of destroying sin is forever gone. Now nothing can stop us.
Well, we can.
By all means, try. You should thank me. Your death means your father's life.
Episode 21 starts exactly where the last one ended, at Seymour Omnis. And before anything else, I need to be very clear about one thing here. Ultima is the wall, a hard wall. No matter what I tried, I could not survive it. Shell doesn't mitigate the damage. I tested it. My plus 15% magic defense didn't help either. Ultima is considered special damage. And even stacking plus 20% HP with 2 times HP wasn't enough. And Ultima hits way above 3000 damage. There is no surviving that with any gear available to us. So for me, right now, the entire battle turns into one question. Can I end it before Ultima happens? Now let's do a little breakdown on Seymour Omnis. Now this 4th version of Seymour has 80,000 HP. During the whole fight, he's casting predictable spells. And this is the reason why Seymour Omnis usually ends up being considered one of the easier bosses in the entire game. When we compare it and reflect it to the previous boss battles with the fact that it's the second last boss in the storyline progression. Right here, I'm completely protected against his spellcast. Once you understand how he chooses which spells to use, the danger drops off hard. Now, if everyone is alive in your party and UG alone is considered a full party by the game, Omnis will always cast 4 spells on his turn. And the element he uses isn't random, it's decided by the color of the disc rotated closest to him. Each disc acts like a selector of which type of element Seymour will use. For example, 4 red ones here means 4 fire-based casts coming at your way. And at this point of the game, protecting against single element is not a hard task. At least for me, this battle is a little bit more complicated. There's a tracker running in the background. After being targeted 6 times, everything changes. Seymour's next 2 turns are guaranteed. But first, he starts glowing red as a sign that the tracker has reached 6 and delivers a couple great quotes.
Rest in peace in eternal darkness.
Then the first action is Dispel, removing my haste. And then Ultima. The Dispel is annoying as well. It strips my haste, and without haste, I only get 1 turn between Seymour's guaranteed actions. 1 turn to do something, and then Ultima ends the fight. The only way around that, for me, is to utilize SOS haste. That way the Dispel goes out, the haste will stay, keeping the speed up. Now considering all this, that means whatever plan I come up with has to kill Seymour before the Ultima. First, I tried testing a very specific idea. I equipped a magic counter I grinded from those monks all the way back in the Bevel High Bridge to see if I could win without ever directly targeting Seymour. The important detail here is that magic counter is on a weapon, not armor, which lets me freely run fire protection on the armor slot. On paper, it looks like a perfect setup. The idea was simple: let Seymour cast, let the counters do the damage, and never push the Ultima tracker myself. But the game isn't having it. Even counter attacks count towards the 6-hit tracker. So no matter how clever the setup is, Seymour still reaches Dispel into Ultima. No cheese here, Seymour Omnis has to be beaten straight. Now second strat was straightforward: spam Supreme Gems. With Fireproof or Fire Eater armor on, I can't die to anything Seymour does until Ultima. And that part works. The problem is, Supreme Gems alone aren't enough. Seymour still has a decent chunk of HP left, and Dispel stripping my haste didn't help either. So I changed tactics. Next idea, coming already in Aeons range. Equip Aeons haste armor before Dispel into Ultima happens. That part actually works. Dispel goes out, but haste stays. The issue here is damage. Even with that setup, I'm still just a little bit out of range. I cannot finish the fight fast enough. I cannot do enough damage. At this point, it's becoming a little bit more obvious. I might need more damage. But where could I possibly pull more damage? I know I can grab a dark matter from Blitzball again, so I go and do that. And it's looking like, luckily, that I only need one. But before I lean into that dark matter, I came up with another idea. And this one's the real turning point. Seymour himself can help deal damage. The discs floating around him determine which spell he casts, depending on the color closest to him. So we have to take a little bit closer look into how those discs work. First of all, I can rotate the discs by casting spells to them, and things change on Seymour's defense when the color matching changes. So for matching discs, Seymour absorbs that element but becomes weak to the opposing one. 3 matching discs, he absorbs that element. 2 matching discs, he becomes immune to that element. 1 matching disc, damage from that element is halved. And that's the only circumstance where Seymour takes damage. And for max damage, I want to have all 4 different elements. And that's the key. So the idea forms from that. And since Seymour counts to 6 targeted hits before Dispel into Ultima, what if Seymour himself pushes the counter from 5 to 6? While I set up everything I can to survive just long enough to end it right there. So the plan is to stop pushing the counter myself once it reaches 5. That's where Reflect comes in. I throw Reflect on UG, and instead of taking the 6th hit myself, I let Seymour do it for me. Under Reflect, his next spell casts bounce back and damage him directly. And this pushes the counter way past 6 without costing me a turn. From there, it's about turn economy. I equip Aeons haste before Dispel comes out, so when he strips buffs, haste stays. That gives me every possible action window after Dispel, and that seems to be the only way to throw enough Supreme Gems. Either I finish the fight in that window, or Ultima ends the run. Now put that into practice. I rotated the discs. Now, in my Victorious armor, I'm fully protected against 3 elements. Fire, ice, lightning. Completely covered. But water hits normally, no protection there. So I rotate the discs so that all I need to do is hit one circle one last time and all 4 elements will be mixed. That way Seymour will take the most amount of damage from reflected spells. This time I prep even more carefully. I equip Aeons haste earlier than before. I need every single CTP advantage I can get. But that comes with a problem. To make this work, I need to survive a full round of 4 spells from Seymour. And I need to do it without elemental protection. Because I need to have that Aeons haste armor already equipped so that after I throw Reflect on UG, I don't have to waste even a single turn into gear swap. I wasn't lying when I said I need every possible CTP advantage. This is important because my next 2 turns in this strat are set on stone. Them being of course Reflect on UG and turning the last circle by attacking it. So the setup looks like this. Shell on, 2 times HP on UG, Aeons haste armor equipped with that extra, plus 10% HP. Shoutouts to Bashura and Mount Gagashet for this armor. Now heal UG to max and pray. $53 HP left, and that 10% HP boost makes surviving these spells possible. Now it's go time. I throw Reflect on UG, and unfortunately, that's not the only thing I throw. And this is where I mess up slightly. I forget to turn the final disc. Instead, I swap gear to capitalize on the fast CTP turn. Yes, even after all this planning, I made a simple mistake. Now spell starts flying. The first 2 reflect back and deal 0 damage to Seymour. The last two chip him for about 300 each. Not perfect, but it might be good enough. Now the counter tracker is way past 6. Now it's items only. I get 2 turns before the Dispel into Ultima happens. No more gear swaps for the rest of the battle. Everything is prepped for max damage plan. From here on out, there's no more setup to be done. Every action I take pushes the damage. And I know what's coming next.
But there is no salvation for the damned.
As SOS haste is already active, Seymour dispels me, but the haste stays on. Turns back on me. CTB checked back-to-back item throws while Seymour sitting at 10,550 HP. That's it! No dark matter needed. And yeah, this is how the CTP ended up looking like after the mistake of not turning the last disc. However, I'm not sure if I would have gotten a double turns here if I would have attacked earlier instead of equipment swap. And that quote-unquote mistake of mine could actually be more optimal here. That's the beauty of CTB. So here comes one more turn, and I finish it with the Poison Fang. Yeah, Poison Fang, I just had to use it one last time to finish a boss battle. That item carried the mid game so hard, and even now in the end game, it's still putting in work in random battles. Bosses may be immune, but the spirit of Poison Fang lives on. Seymour Omnis goes down, and I won't lie, coming into this fight, I genuinely thought this might be the end of the run. No overdrives, no customization, no leveling, no Aeons. The 7-in-1 Ultimate Guardian barely survives. And now, only one story boss remains, the last one. And I already know, under these restrictions, it's most likely impossible. But I'm going to still try. Before that though, I still have to make my way deeper inside Sin and face the last and the scariest fiends that the city of the dying dreams has to offer. The Monolith, Barbatos, and the Great Marlborough. Great Marlborough, immune to sleep. Great Barbatos, immune to sleep. Great, immune to sleep. The Monolith, immune to sleep, of course.